kind of leaves me to my thoughts, which will just be overwhelming and sometimes irrational or illogical. So sometimes just being there. Take the time to learn, just as you, like you have certain things you like, certain movies you like, certain types of humor you don't like. Just as you want to be understood and acknowledged, so does that other person. No matter what condition they have, they want to be understood, and if they're having a difficulty, they want you to see them. And for example, I was having a stressful situation today, and when I have those moments, in order for me to not get into a panic state and kind of emotionally just break down, I kind of have to like just keep quiet and contained. But she wanted me to open up and say, let's talk through this, let's work through this. And I finally realized that, okay, no, it's important that I be able to communicate. But I knew as soon as I would start talking that I would be letting down the defenses and it would just come out. But I felt comfortable after, because I've been going through these steps of communicating everything about me and how I function. And so I kind of, yes, breaking down isn't necessarily the most pleasant experience, but I just let go, and rather slow and difficult, in a difficult way, was able to get the words out and say that I just need input because I am not sure how things are. I just need you to tell me that things are okay, or reassure me on this moment we just went through. And she was aware of how I feel about physical contact. Physical contact will just make me feel better, even if it's just a hand on the shoulder, the arm, or holding my hand or my head or anything. Aware of the fact that my my mind and my attention kind of works like those little electric lightning balls you see at Spencer's Gifts, where it's all crazy going nuts, but as soon as you touch it, everything's just focused on that point. And that, it does it for me too. If someone's there and they're there for me and they just physically connect with me, that's where all my energy and all my focus goes. And so that alone will just start to calm me down. And she knew that that's how I function. And so while I'm sitting there trying to communicate and going through the process of breaking down in front of her, she said, hold my hand, let's go through this. So that's an example of being aware of what things are difficult, what things help, what things work. And it's okay if you're still working them out or still trying to find what works. Maybe that person can help you find what works. So yeah, that was definitely all around and about. Forgive me. I think I'm going to cover other aspects, like I can only speak for me, of course, and if there are those who can relate, that's great, and it's just something to be aware of for those who are like me. I know there's so many different kinds of people out there, different ways people can think, and likes and dislikes. There's a lot that I will not know until I'm given some form of guidance or input. And I know, me being the kind who struggles with communicating, if I'm having a bit of a breakdown and I'm having trouble talking, I might not be able to say what I need that might help in that moment, which is why it's good to bring it up beforehand. So I understand if someone else might not be able to tell me what I could do to help in that moment if they're stressed or emotional. So hopefully that kind of stuff is communicated beforehand too. But a lot of times when something is happening socially, I will not know what to do unless given some prompt or detail. Just because anything's possible. If someone's going through a difficult moment, someone might crack a joke and make the situation lighter and everything will be okay. Or they'll just sit there and say nothing and just be present, but just being there is enough for them. Or they'll come up to them and hold them, and that'll be enough for them. Or some people just need alone time, completely just have no one around them. So most of the time, at least for me, I'm okay with whatever helps those moments if you just say so. And it might seem obvious to some people, but for me it's not obvious. I just tell me. If you want me to step away for 5 minutes, I'll say, okay, I'm going to go over here. I got my phone. Send me a message when everything's okay, and I will be here for whatever might help. And just because when you're presented with a what to do or what to say moment, at least for me, my mind just opens up into this vast world of possibilities. There's so many things I could say, so many questions I could ask, so many responses and actions. It's overwhelming. And so when there's just so much there, like you got 50 people in a room and you're trying to get them out all at the same time because you're not sure who's going first or which one is first, they end up all being stuck and nothing gets out. But yet you still feel all of them there trying to get out. So if you can imagine what that feels like, and so usually just a little guidance saying, oh yes, this tactic might work, or just tell me some nice thoughts, or distract me, or whatever it might be. And some of these things might sound insightful, but to me it doesn't feel any different than I imagine anyone else wants to be treated. I mean, you want to know what things are difficult. You want to know, I imagine you want to know what things you like, what things you're afraid of, what things are difficult. If you had a visible physical disability, that of course would be a bit easier to guess at what a person might need help with, but you would still probably get some prompting from them because they are familiar. And so for anyone else, it's no different. Just get to know and ask and understand, or at least take the time to try and understand, and just be, even if you don't fully get it, just be aware of its existence and say, okay, so just let me know what I need to do in those moments. Take those steps. And yeah. I'm going to take a break, and I can think of maybe one or a couple other things I could talk about, but I'm going to break it up into parts. I'm going to cover some topics on getting to know someone in regards to small talk and special interests and info dumping and stuff like that. So yeah, I'll work on some more later, and by later it could be just a matter of minutes, but I just want to break it up into parts. And so yes, as usual, please feel free to comment, give topic suggestions, give your own experiences, or if you need more clarification, just feel free to communicate. And as always, I'm just here, not speaking for all. I'm just here giving my experiences and outlook at the chance that someone who has a harder time communicating than me can relate and get their thoughts, know that their thoughts are understood and shared, and then to inform people who want to know. So yeah, thank you, and more to come soon.